And joining us now, Anthony Bartlett, president of St. Louis Transplants. We're not talking the medical industry here. We're talking about people moving in from the outside. You help them look for what they want, adapt, individuals, families, businesses, that sort of thing?
Correct. So what we do is we help anybody moving to town, or an institution or corporation that's bringing a population to town, find their network and find their network quickly. So we do churches, country clubs, schools, play dates, dinner parties, golfing buddies, and then a big part of what we do is help them find the right neighborhood.
I guess everybody's looking for something different, or maybe not, but has it surprised you what people are looking for? People always used to, you would hear, well, I asked the real estate agent, I wanted to buy a house here, and they kept showing me a house over there, and that kind of stuff. Are people maybe more interested in things that native St. Louisans may not be interested in?
There's no question. Really? Question, and I think in large part the real estate industry is doing its best to try to catch up to that theme going on with new arrivals, and people from around the country are often, for an example, people in a lot of other cities are defined by their neighborhood. So in St. Louis, sometimes, we hear historically they're defined by the high school, but people coming from New York, or say, my folks came from Cleveland, and I don't think I've ever heard them say Cleveland. They said, we came from Shaker Heights. Mm-hmm. And so when somebody is moving to St. Louis, what they're actually looking for is a neighborhood community. And I think a lot of the resources have gone to finding the right home, but not necessarily the right community for them. And so that's a big part of what we're trying to do, to make sure that they see those pockets and know that they're there.
Some people are looking for Wildwood, and some people are looking for Soulard.
Correct, and I think there's something appropriate for everyone. I think what's happening, and one of the things that we saw a lot of for the out-of-towners coming into town, is I had no idea this was here. When we started hosting events, our first event was in the Grove neighborhood, and 75 people walked in the door and went, wow, I really wish I had known that the Grove neighborhood existed. When I arrived, I was shown, they took me to a baseball game and then drove me, straight out here, and I didn't know about all these different pieces. And this reminds me of home. I think the transplants and new arrivals really go based on feel and what is reminiscent of where they're coming from, and that's where they like to land.
What are some of the more popular areas that you're hearing about, or is it still all over the place?
It really depends on what they're looking for, but one of the
age and family,
and things of that nature. I'd say a big piece of it is a lot of the transplants, I think, feel like they missed the Renaissance, so to speak, or the rebound in a lot of these big cities. And what a lot of the transplants really love about St. Louis is they can participate in that. So for example, we had a transplant from New York come in, and she found Cherokee Street, and she said, I missed Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. I didn't get to be a part of that Renaissance, but I get to be a part of that here in St. Louis. And not only did she get to be a part of that, but she called 3 other folks from New York, her age, in their 20s, and said, you won't believe what's going on here. You guys got to join me and become a part of it.
Do you have a sense that the people who are moving in, whether it's tech workers or people who are moving here because their wife wants to move home or their husband wants to, mm-hmm. are they having an impact on what's going on throughout the area? Is this a big enough group of people that they're beginning to shift some things in areas?
I think that they are having an impact, and they are absolutely the heart and soul of the impact that's possible. The transplants are not afraid. They're not afraid of diversity. They're not afraid of being a part of, say, an early rebound. And that's definitely a key component. We need to bring as many of them as possible.
Are we using the right techniques? Are we promoting the right things, do you think? Or?
I think in some cases, we try to do, I think we're still depending a lot on luck. So for example, if a transplant lands in, say, somewhere like Lafayette Square, they'll be adopted by all the neighbors instantly. Whereas in another neighborhood that might be a little more established, the neighbors do not get to know each other. So what we try to do is take the luck out of it and make sure that they know that X is an option and Y is an option, and that Z, while it might be close to work, is it is what it is. It's maybe appropriate for a family, maybe appropriate for this, but
and yet some people are looking for the challenge, right? Some people want to go in.
Some people love the challenge. Some people love the challenge, exactly. And I think there are people in the community who are surprised by that. So if the real estate agent is not looking for a challenge, what's important is that they need to understand or be able to refer the person to a place where they maybe can be challenged. So they might go, oh wow, you can't move there, you have a child. And the New Yorkers going, or just say somebody from Queens is going, going, but I want that mix, I want that diversity, I want that craziness.
And once again, it comes back to diversity. A lot of different neighborhoods, a lot of different areas. There's probably something for everybody. We just have to make sure that we can pair them up with the right place.
We have to make sure that it's not hidden and that they find these pockets. Exactly. I think they're seeing downtown, and they might see an area, say, as large as St. Charles, and they're missing what's in between sometimes. Again, this is all very fixable. We're certainly, that's changing very much, but it's a huge component. If they land in the wrong neighborhood, if we have a round peg in a square hole, it's very, very hard to overcome. And I think we see a lot of loss because of it for that reason. When you have a 30-year-old from Spain who's put out in the county because he thinks he has to live right next to work, and then you've got the nice young family from Cincinnati living on Locust, those things are hard to overcome. We get one shot. And so what we try to do is make sure that they see it from the beginning and they can land in those places, and then they can sort of make their way.